Started with the part, we'll begin by creating an extrude feature based on a 2D rectangle. Now, you probably already noticed that there's a rectangle tool right on the Sketch tab, but let's spend a few minutes getting familiar with how all of the tools work in the Sketch environment. Sketching is actually one of the most important aspects of mastering a parametric modeler, like Inventor. First, let's look at the Line tool. When I select it, the status bar tells me to select the starting point for the line. I'll click anywhere on the screen. As soon as I do, I see a length and angle pop up next to my pointer. If I know what the length will be, I can type it in and press Enter on my keyboard. When I do, Inventor adds the dimension and leaves the Line tool active so I can continue making a chain of lines. This is convenient because often you'll be using the Line tool to create several segments that will eventually form a closed profile. For the next segment, I'll type in the length, and if you also have a specific angle value, you can press the Tab key to switch over to the other value. Type in the angle you want, and when I press Enter on the keyboard, Inventor places the line with both dimensions. It's not necessary to place these dimensions as you sketch. You can always just click in space to continue placing endpoints. Notice these endpoints don't have dimensions, but that's okay. The dimensions and constraints I use to control the geometry can be added later. So how do you finish using the Line tool? There are actually several ways. One way is to right-click and select OK. Another option you have is to press the Escape key on your keyboard. The Escape key is a hotkey to finish just about any tool you work with in Inventor, and it's an extremely common practice to use. One other way to finish the chain of lines is to again press the line icon. The advantage to this is that it leaves the Line tool turned on in case you want to start a new chain from somewhere else. Finally, Inventor will know to end the chain of lines automatically when you close the profile on one of the other line segments. If you're wondering why my design window and line color are different than yours, it's because I changed the color scheme of Inventor. To get this option, go to the Tools tab and select Application Options. Finally, go to the Colors tab and you can see the different default color schemes. I have mine set to Presentation. I'll click OK to close the window and return to the Sketch tab. Let's clean up our workspace just a bit so we can look at some other tools. To get rid of these segments, all I have to do is click on them and press Delete on the keyboard. But make sure you've turned the Line tool off first. Otherwise, you might end up with a bunch of tiny line segments. Remember, just press Escape, and when you see the arrow pointer, you know you can select things again. You can select individual segments and press Delete on the keyboard. Or you can window select. Just as you may have seen in other CAD tools, you can click anywhere in space, and if you drag a window from left to right, Inventor will only select items that are completely inside the window. If you drag the window from right to left, anything that passes through the window will be selected. Alternatively, you can select several items at once manually by holding down the Control key while making your selections. Once the items are selected, just press Delete on the keyboard to remove them.